And now, the SleepHawk Worldwide Podcast. Here are your hosts, Brandon Staton and Tyler Hansbrough.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the SleepHawk Worldwide Podcast. This is Sleep Dog with the Big Hawk.
What's up, everybody? It's the Big Hawk. Excited to be in the studio with my guy, Sleep Dog.
The lab.
Oh, man. In the lab. Yeah, we got a great podcast. I'm excited to be here with you.
Might be the best episode we've ever had, guys. There's so much going on right now. I mean, UNC just fired one off against NCCU, keeping that one close until the fourth quarter. We'll get into that. Christian McCaffrey, I got a bone to pick here. Not with McCaffrey, with the San Francisco 49ers, at fantasy football related, as you might guess. He's on IL. We'll get into that. Tua. Got to figure out what's going on with that guy. Need to get that guy a stronger helmet. We'll talk about him. Dallas Cowboys, SleepHawk Worldwide. We're going to talk to you about where that intersection occurred last week. The Commanders, all right, won today. 21-18, kicked 7 field goals. That is just electric. I mean, I watched the whole thing. Really sad state of affairs. As we speak, Big Hawks dying. Chiefs Bengals are down to the final thing here. Some games going on as we're finishing up. So we'll talk about whatever we can, but we'll start with UNC football. Okay. First of all, not televised in a way that's easy to find, but if you're anything like Sleep Dog, you're subscribed to 350 different television networks, and I was able to eventually watch on one of them on my cell phone. Not gonna lie, caught about 10 minutes of it in the first quarter. Things were not looking good for the Heels. 17-10 at half. Then they just reel off 28 straight in the fourth quarter. Amarian Hampton, guy just went berserk. I mean, look at your opponent. I get it. Whatever. 25 carries, 210, 3 touchdowns. Pretty good day. I don't care who you're playing. Yep. And his fate would have it, dude. The first time I'm talking about Carolina, I'm talking about Jacoby Criswell like he's like he's Joe Burrow or something. And come to find out, I was talking about the wrong dude the whole episode. He takes over after the second series and leads the Tar Heels to victory. Didn't have the highest QBR I saw on the stat sheet, but to be quite honest with you, I don't even know what that means. So Heels 3-0. I mean, hey, look, you got to play. Hey, rather be the Tar Heels than Florida State Seminoles.
Absolutely.
0-3. So, let's do a deep dive, Big Hog. Let's just get right down into the nuts and bolts of the play calling.
Yep. Well, first of all, Sleep, my first thought is it doesn't have to be a beauty contest. I don't know what a QBR stands for either, but I tell you what, we ain't going to be a thing of beauty this year, but we're going to get some dubs, and we're going to pull them out. Trust Mac. I don't know a thing about football. I don't have the intelligence to draw up a play or how it's done, but I will tell you, we have won some games. We're on a roll. We haven't played the toughest schedule. We're not going to. But you know what? We're undefeated, and we're in a pretty good spot right now.
I mean, I really think this is the greatest decision of all time. Just as like, I mean, just like this is me as a coach. Like if I get hired at it, this is the thing. This is the thing. People want to win, okay? And we're winning. I don't go to like this is I thought of this the other day, right? Like imagine, how they talk, and you can even probably speak to this, right? Like playing these powerhouse programs is like supposedly a recruiting advantage for like the small school. It's like, so what do you mean to tell me, man? I'm going to go play football at Bethune-Cookman, and one day, I mean, I'm already like obviously not that great. And then, one day all my friends and family are going to show up and watch Alabama just absolutely choo-choo train me for 3.5 hours. I'm just going to go out there and get beat 80-0. And that's what I'm coming to this school for. Like, nah, dude, like just play the teams you're going to beat.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I'm all for competition, and I'm all for if you got Drake May as your quarterback. Like, yeah, I'm a lot less scared, but like we don't have Drake May anymore.
No.
Just put some teams out there that we're going to beat, man.
Yeah. And, if I'm at Bethune-Cookman as well, I don't want to run out there against LSU big dogs, Tigers, whatever they are. And, I like where we're at, Sleep. I think we're
3-0, dude.
Yeah, 3-0. What else do you want us to do?
Basically, Georgia. Look, and here's the other thing. Georgia almost lost. And who did they play? I forgot already. They played like somebody terrible. Florida State was supposed to be the top 10 team in the country. They lost to Georgia Tech, somebody else, and then Memphis. I mean, Florida State is awful.
Horrible.
Damn, Chiefs kicked that field goal and won. But yeah, man, I mean, say what you want about it. Amari and Hampton might run for 1,000 yards by tomorrow. That guy's good.
He's got a workload, and listen, we need him healthy.
Yeah, I mean, you control the ball with a guy like him when you got questions at quarterback. We're on a third quarterback already. Come hell or high water, we'll probably be on our fourth here at some point in time. And that guy, everybody knew he was good. Defense, hey, listen. At first, maybe it was the second series, looked like Swiss cheese out there, and guys just getting chunk plays. And I was like, well, all right. Next thing you know, that's all they did. They gave up 10 points whole game. So and this is what I'll say about the college football, because I was going to go look. There were some weird scores.
Will we be a top 25 team? Will we be ranked?
Not in the ACC, I believe we'll be in the top 25. Georgia beat Kentucky by 13-12. Okay. Kentucky is not good. Kansas State, Arizona, that was a good game. Texas, mollywop. Alabama beat Wisconsin by 1 billion. Ole Miss beat Wake Forest by 250 million. The Boston College Mizzou game was a good one. Boston College is actually pretty good.
Oh, they're a powerhouse.
Tennessee 71, Kent State nothing. See, this is what I'm talking about. If you're Kent State, why do you want to play Tennessee? It's like, oh yeah. Well, come to Tennessee, come to Kent State, and you're going to get nationally televised football game. Oh, so you mean everyone in the nation is going to watch me on the sideline just staring off into oblivion while these guys score? What is it? I can't even count this high. They scored 65 in the first half. It was 65-0 at halftime.
I hope somebody's doing push-ups for those.
I mean, dude, they got the world's strongest man couldn't be a cheerleader on Tennessee football team playing Kent State. Okay. Kent State. Come on. Like, get out of here. I just don't get it. I've never understood it. Kent State's in it for the money.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can see here if, like, now in this day and age, like, we're splitting up the money. It's like, hell yeah, I'll go to Kent State.
Yep.
Getting paid $5 million to come get an ass beat against Tennessee. As long as I see, 10 or 20 grand, man, I'm there.
Mm-hmm.
Count me in. But, dude, I mean, imagine being like the quarterback or skill position. You're a running back. You're going to take a running play up the gut, and these dudes weigh 325 pounds, and they're going to break you in half. Like, these dudes are going to be in the NFL for long careers.
Yeah.
And you're going to be working at Enterprise Rent-A-Car. All right. And like,
there's
brother,
wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with it.
I'm a big Hertz guy though, but
yeah, I mean, it's going to hurt when that dude pile drives you into 5-yard loss. Ball State, 62-0 against Miami. I mean, Ball State. Like, who even named that place? First of all, let's see who else. Tulsa. Tulsa's actually like a halfway decent thing. LSU. Arkansas State's another one. They're famous for just getting drummed.
Jonesboro, Arkansas, about an hour and a half from Poplar Bluff. Arkansas State. How bad did they lose?
They only lost 28-18 to Michigan, who is a very early going, appears to be very overrated. Notre Dame, Purdue. Notre Dame just had an axe to grind against Purdue.
Yeah, I can see that.
Nebraska, Northern Iowa, 34-3. I mean, look, Tar Heel fans. These guys ain't the 86 Bears or anything like that. Maybe it was the 85 Bears. I don't remember. But look, 3-0, dude. 3-0. Just relax. We might, if you keep winning, that's the other thing. Is like, if you're undefeated, you're gonna get in the top 25 at some point.
Yeah.
I mean, 3-0 against who did we played? We played Minnesota. We played who did we just play? Not in NCCU, but the day before.
I thought it was Colorado, but it was Charlotte, right?
Yeah, it was Charlotte. The old 49ers, man. Gold rush of Western North Carolina, man. Mm-hmm. Charlotte and NCCU, and I think we got James Madison next.
Yep.
So we are, we're going through the gauntlet of this is the dog days of college football right now.
Yeah, it's heavy hitters.
Yeah, so just keep this train rolling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all right. Carolina football, baby. 3-0. Amari and Hampton got to be probably front runner, top 5 for Heisman Trophy. can't really think of any other college football stories except Georgia. So what I did see today is that Texas, who looks great, because Quinn Ewers got hurt. And apparently Quinn Ewers, everybody was afraid. He's the starter for Texas, quarterback, ahead of Archie Manning, Peyton Manning's son.
Yeah.
Apparently everybody thinks that after a couple games, he's the front runner for the Heisman. I've watched a couple Texas games. That dude looks really good. He gets hurt. Everybody thinks it's bad. Come to find out, it's not as bad as they think. I think he'll miss the next game against, the Louisiana Lighthouse University and they're playing someone very, very close to that. Arch Manning looked great, and Texas is now number 1. Georgia now number 2. So despite a W, expectations much higher. I wonder what happened in that Georgia-Kentucky game, because I didn't watch much of that either. Any of that to be clear. Anyway, so that's really the only storyline. Everything else was kind of ho-hum, God, some lopsided games.
I think I would roll with Archie Manning. I do. Eventually think if Texas wants to get where they're at, especially if they're playing Bethune-Cookman coming up in their schedule, I think you got to roll with him.
They will, because this dude's out in the next game. Louisiana Monroe next game.
Where's Bethune-Cookman?
I don't know, but I've been using that a lot lately because I know it's an actual name, an actual school. Bethune-Cookman University is in Dayton Beach, Florida.
I like that. All right.
Be sneaky good.
Wow.
Maybe
we'll play him next year.
Oh boy. Yeah, they're in Florida. It's affiliated with the United Methodist Church, historically black university. Whitehall, yeah. Attendance. Except, I was just trying to find some facts and figures. Notable alumni. As you might imagine. Not me. Hey, they got some NFL guys out of here, though. Former NBA referee.
What's his name?
Eric Lewis. Larry
I know
Little.
Eric, yeah. He was in the NBA when I was there. He's a good ref.
Went to Bethune-Cookman.
There's
a member of the Pro Football Hall of Fame from there. So, hey, sorry for throwing shade at Bethune-Cookman. That was unintentional. It's just a funny sounding name, and probably like somebody if Alabama is playing. I think we got it. We know how that's going to go. Christian McCaffrey, dude. I'm going to get into this one. Here's my rub. So Christian McCaffrey apparently got a sore Achilles, right? And no one says anything about it. I've been playing fantasy football for better part of my life. I don't know. I can't recall ever getting the first pick in the draft. Get it this year, take Christian McCaffrey. And boom, guy is all of a sudden, not only does he miss game 1, okay, but then they put him on IL. And IL requires you to miss 4 more games. So now this dude's going to miss the first 5 games of the year. And what is baby Brandon's Bible Bonkers going to do with the number 1 draft pick on the bench for 5 games? Well, I salvaged the first game because I'm an absolute savant in the draft room. But second game ain't looking so hot. And, just gotta stay alive until, he gets back. But I just can't believe that they, how does a guy go from going to start, everything's fine, to actually, no, he's going to be on the IL? Because, he's didn't do this in practice.
Well, Sleep, the Achilles, you don't want to play with the Achilles, all right? You want to let that thing fully get healed. Christian McCaffrey, he's a heavy workload guy. He's had a history of injuries. And you know what? You're being tested right now because there's a saying, you can't win your league on draft night, but you can lose it on draft night.
Yeah.
And I don't think you lost it because I've had Christian McCaffrey in my leagues, and when he's healthy and he's full go, it's a cheat code, and understand why you took him. It's justified.
One title with him last year. Maybe I had the first pick last year.
Yep. And you're not the only one in this situation. There's a lot of people out there in fantasy land that are upset just like you. Just hang tight for these next 4 weeks. Hope he's got a healthy recovery and heals fast like Wolverine. So
here's the ESPN headline. Quote, nobody knows, end quote, how long Christian McCaffrey out, 49ers coach says. Great. That's excellent. Can't wait. Anyway, they lost today. We'll run down a list of scores here in a little bit, but here is the big NFL story. An actual one is Tua. I guess this is his third concussion. And now the debate is whether or not he should retire.
Yep.
I think I had a concussion once, but it's unconfirmed, and I actually don't think it was. But I haven't had an NFL concussion, that's for sure, much less 3 of them. Think he had several more, maybe 2 more in college.
Yeah.
I don't know. What's your take on this?
Well, I don't know if you know this, but I have talked about it before. Concussion almost ended my career early on. And I had a really bad concussion my first year with the Pacers, and I was out for 8 months. And there's a guy, he's one of the leading researchers in concussion, and he's out of Pittsburgh. His name is Mickey Collins. And after months of not getting better, dealing with a lot of headaches and a lot of symptoms, eventually the Pacers ask around, and he is the guy that a lot of NFL guys go to. He was Tony Romo's doctor. He advised Romo to retire. Not Tony Romo, Bill Romanowski.
Mm-hmm.
He wrote a book about it. And I will tell you, from what I went through, concussions are a very serious issue. And a lot of the problems with concussion can lead you down a dark path. And it's unlike anything else that I've ever dealt with, because sometimes you look fine on the outside and people can't understand why you feel bad, but inside you're miserable. And I can tell you, vertigo, the feeling of, having to deal with night sweats and headaches that you just can't explain why you're having headaches. It's brutal. And I hope Tua is not going through that, because a lot of times you get hit and it takes a while to recover. You can feel fine. You can go outside and, the sun hits you and get these headaches. I can tell you that there's different degrees of concussions and everybody's symptoms a little bit different, but it is, talking to Mickey Collins and, going through the process, it's just like a leg injury, except for in your head. You cannot stress yourself out or overstimulate yourself if you want to get healthy. You've got to relax and do the protocol, because concussions are very serious and they can linger. And I know that, if you have one concussion, the next concussion can be more severe and so on. The more you get, the worse the symptoms can be. And from what I understand, he's got a very good guaranteed contract. And I don't know his family situation or how much he loves football, but I would have to really think about if I'm in his situation, just because, man, I tell you what, watching him take those hits, and especially what he went through last year, I can tell you that to me, it looked like he had a concussion on the field prior to the one he had a couple years ago, mm-hmm. that, the NFL didn't do anything about, didn't investigate. Then he gets hit a couple weeks later, and it's very severe. And it looks like
mm-hmm.
there could be, he might have had to stay in the hospital overnight or whatever. I'm not sure about that, but I would have a long, hard, conversation with my family and the people I really care about and love, and who I've talked to about tough situations in my life, and really see if football is worth risking his mental health, especially with all the research that's coming out. And what's, there's a lot of sad stories with CTE and how all this
mm-hmm.
stuff can hit you later on in life. Junior Seau is a guy,
mm-hmm.
The documentary that I watched about him, I remember watching Seau. Man, it's sad. And you can see some of the stuff through Brett Favre, and Brett Favre's
mm-hmm.
been kind of open about, man, I've taken a lot of hits. Sometimes I have bad memory issues, and all that stuff's really sad, because, a lot of these people have families and kids, and I think sometimes that stuff is, being there for your family and raising your kids. And, I think that is much more important than sports. And, especially if you have that money. That's just my opinion, Sleep.
Yeah, he already said he made a decision that he's not going to retire, so that put that kind of thing to bed. And I think what Mike McDaniel, the coach, caught some heat, but basically, I think what he was trying to say was, and it's interesting to hear your perspective of not stressing yourself out, right? Because I think that's basically what McDaniel was trying to tell people to do is like, hey, you're going to actually create problems if you keep harping on him. If you make a big, give him time, process all this sort of stuff. And yeah, it's got to be a hard thing because as an athlete, we see this all the time when it comes time for people to retire after they've been healthy, right? And they just get old. And, Junior Seau is immediate comes to mind. There's the guy from the Steelers, from the movie. I can't remember his name, but the guy that, there's a lot of horrible stories in guys in the wrestling environment. You even look at a guy like Antonio Brown and, you kind of look at, some interviews and how he was viewed sort of earlier in his career and how humble he was versus where he's at now. And I think on the outside looking in, there's quite a few guys where you're like, man, that guy's got some issues. And I think the scariest part is that you're right. It doesn't sort of rear its full, ugly head until later in life when, I guess, the stars or the lights aren't as bright and life is sort of a little bit more like the rest of everybody else's at that point. So it's a scary situation. And I mean, those two he had a couple of years ago, especially that second one, if there's a compounding effect on this stuff, I mean, it didn't look like a bad hit. Right. And immediately this is such a weird analogy, but I don't even remember why. Like, ironically, I was I saw the race live when Dale Earnhardt crashed at Daytona, and it's like didn't look like anything. It just looked like a regular old wreck, not even a bad one, and boom. I mean, so you just don't really understand just how what these guys are going through. And I look as a dad now, dude. My kid ain't playing football. Period.
And Sleep, I will tell you, and that's a question I had for this concussion specialist when I saw him. I told him, I was like, if you watch the video of me getting hit, this is not like a hit. I've taken much worse hits. I don't know why. And he was explaining, a lot of times when you watch, it's unexpected or awkward hits that can really cause a lot of concussions. And he used an analogy that I thought made a lot of sense. If you take an egg and you consider the yolk inside the egg, your brain, when your head gets hit, imagine that yolk hitting the different sides of the eggshell. That's kind of how you would kind of look at it as a concussion. The brain can bounce back and forth off the skull a little bit. And if you keep doing that, that compounding effect's going to have a lot of damage to that yolk. And that's kind of like what I've always thought about. Sometimes when you hit, even though your head doesn't hit, that impact, that blow can cause your brain to shake a little bit. And that's where a lot of concussions can happen.
Yeah, I guess if you think about it, you can crack the eggshell and the yolk stays in place, or you could shake the egg up and, totally scramble that thing. So
hard boiled.
Yeah, that shit's scary, man. Obviously, I don't know. Like, there's a lot of look. We were talking about Tua last year. You thought he was overrated, Ninja Warrior, and all this sort of stuff. And I don't know, man. I think the whole storyline of them and he was kind of an underdog. McDaniel, I kind of like. I mean, look, what the problem you have as a Commanders fan is you got to find other storylines to follow if you want to actually enjoy football. Right. And so that's kind of what I'm forced to do is, I hope Washington wins, but they rarely do. And even like today, when they do, it's really not all that thrilling. So, the Dolphins are one of, the stories in the league that are they're one of the teams in the league that if they're on TV, I'll watch. And it's it's a bummer. But yeah, hopefully he's okay. Speaking of the Commanders, they won today. Have you watched any football at all today?
Yeah, I watched a little bit of this KC game.
Oh yeah. I watched some of that. Old T Swift was there. She's really putting in work up there in the Pope box. Somebody scored a touchdown and it did not involve Travis Kelce, and she really seemed to know what was going on. I was impressed. I'm a big Taylor Swift guy. I love Taylor Swift. I really do. Like, seriously, I like
Taylor.
Kind of talking shit about her, but I really like Taylor Swift. It's just funny. Commanders win 21-18 against the Giants. The Giants are just god awful, and Commanders win and they kick 7 field goals. I mean, wow. He's 21-18. You're like, oh, I wonder if I wonder who scored the touchdowns. Nope. 7 field goals. And the best part is some dude on their kicker from last week missed 2. They fired him. They hired this dude off of I don't even know where they found him. I found him on Temu, and he comes in and just bangs 7 field goals. And all of a sudden, Washington's first place in the NFC East because they beat the Giants, and then Dallas lost today.
They ain't gonna last.
Oh yeah, no chance. I'll be honest though, Jaden Daniels does look pretty good. I didn't realize he was 6'4". He's a fun player to watch. I just hope he doesn't go the way of the RG3. Here's the Dallas Cowboys. So speaking of being a Commanders fan, what really pissed me off about the Cowboys, I'm gonna make this short. So we recorded the episode last week. Mm-hmm. We published it on YouTube. Somehow, by the grace of the good Lord above, we have this thing out and done on time. We publish it, and it flags it for a copyright. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, YouTube does. And I'm thinking to myself, like, well, what did the guy that edits our podcast, what did Matthew do? He cut something into it that he wasn't supposed to do. No, I had the game. I had Sunday Ticket, which you paid $10 billion for, on my TV in the background, so you can't see the lights reflect, right? And Washington game, is on. It literally tells you like how long it can see what's on the screen. It told me that the Commanders game was on for like 2 minutes and such. It was a questionable copyright, and they're like, "Yep, that's fine, no problem." And at the end of when the Commanders game was over, it switched without me even wanting to the Cowboys and Browns game for like 4 minutes 29 seconds, and that was enough to stick our whole episode in a queue for review and copyright. And I was like, dude, that's some Dallas Cowboys shit right there. Mm-hmm. And so they got their asses kicked today, and I'm happy about it.
Me
More
too.
happy than I usually am.
Yeah, I'm with you. Sleep. I've never been a Cowboys fan, and it's.
Jerry Jones ain't here for the little guy.
No,
Tyler.
No, and the other coach that used to be a Duke fan used to show up to all these. That rubbed me wrong too. He was a loser. He never did anything either.
Oh, Jason Garrett.
Yep.
Yeah. Hell, the Cowboys. You got what you deserved. You're lucky I didn't put your whole game on this time and let everybody laugh at you. You signed Dak Prescott on a contract. Anyway, so that was kind of anyway. So guys, like you guys need to go and subscribe to our YouTube channel to help us catch up from what we missed out on last week. Yeah, and I mean, guys, you got NBA coming. My guy Kuminga just dyed his hair.
Smart move.
Guys about to go off. Okay, go off the deep end or to the All-Star game.
Yep.
I can't wait for the NBA. I can't wait for the Tar Heels to play someone I've heard of. Halloween's coming. We're gonna pull the Halloween stories out of the. Sleep Dog just ordered a grill. I just ordered a grill, man. It'll be here next Saturday. So by the time Sunday rolls around, I'll be chilling and grilling on my back deck. Got those little lights out there, look like I'm in Europe. What else is new with you, Big Hawk? You been pickling and paddling?
Pickling and paddling, fantasy footballing. And I met somebody. I went to Alum Christian School over the weekend, talked to them. They're getting new facilities out there, and someone came up to me and said, "Hey, listen to SleepHawk Worldwide every week." I said, "God bless you." And thank you. He's a truck driver, so shout out to him. I forgot your name.
Shout out. Oh,
thank you for listening to us. It's college basketball is right around the corner.
Oh yeah,
and
salvation.
Starting to do a little research on that. Meeting with Field of 68. We're having our meeting coming up. I'll be back with them, breaking down some games, and you'll have all the insights to what we think about Carolina basketball on here as well. So I'm really excited about that. Looking forward to it. We have the best player in the country, in my opinion, R.J. Davis, coming back, so I'm excited about that. We have a lot of guys with some potential, and a lot of guys who I think can improve, that have the potential to improve, that could be some big impact players. I know last time I talked about the team, Zayden High is no longer with us. I was expecting him. I thought he was a guy that could really be a stretch guy and do some things, but he's not with the team. But we have some other players, and I'm looking forward to the season right there. And just college basketball in general, I'm excited about it. And the one thing I will say, Sleep, the game I'm looking forward to in the non-conference schedule is us at Kansas. Kansas has had the reputation of being the toughest place, the toughest home environment in all of college basketball. A lot of people, especially in the ACC, they associate that with Duke. No, sir. If you talk to anybody that's been to Allen Fieldhouse, they will say that. I've never been there personally. I don't care for it. I don't care for Kansas that much. I know they smacked us in the Final Four. I've never really cared for them after that. But it's going to be a tough one, and I'm looking forward to that. Everybody knows the history. They're going to be pumped up, and they're already talking about it. So we got that right around the corner, and believe me, SHWW will be on top of that.
Oh, yeah. We're going to be right up we'll be there. I just can't wait because now I'm going to take, basketball, a little chill in the air. It's been a little rainy. Get up in the morning, about 60. Everybody associates that with football. Oh, man, nah. I guess it does associate with football too, but basketball, dude, basketball is there for you when it is dark at 4:00 in the afternoon. Like, that's what you got to look forward to, right?
Yeah.
Dude, we bought Taz this little, I never really try to leverage our friendship that much, but we bought Taz a UNC Letterman jacket for thing is literally like this big. And my dream now, we got to get this kid on the jumbo screen when they do the Jordan thing. Dude, he's going to be just absolutely. I got the headphones,
we got to get it done.
Oh, dude, this kid is going to be
like,
the whole crowd's going to go nuts. And if they don't, I'm going to be fired up.
You got to do it like Simba, hold him up.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, hey, son, remember, dude, I was 9 months old, man. I got no idea what you're talking about.
Man. I would love that.
Oh, man, he's going to be Ramses for Halloween. Yeah, I can't wait. But yeah, no, basketball is going to be great. We got a couple tricks up our sleeve for basketball season. That's going to be good. And even as obviously more sports start to sort of get back rolling here, even when you get into baseball playoffs, like baseball playoffs can be a little enjoyable. Did you hear about the PNC is now the Lenovo Center where the Canes will be playing now? I think that's a better, you know what I'm saying? It's like kind of a better thing, RBC, or what is it? PNC.
Yep.
Nobody even banks there. Like, what is that even a bank, or they give?
I do.
Pyramid schemes.
I'll say, man, Lenovo, I'm happy for them. There's a lot of good Tar Heels at Lenovo.
Yeah.
Just golf with a few of them. So
it's great
I'm
classmates I got.
Yep.
Yeah. Get your crab cakes, guys. Great season to eat crab cakes. Because I think seafood is best in months that end in "ber" and end in R, and it is one of them. September, October, November, December. That's seafood season. Bet you didn't know that, Big Hawk.
Sure didn't.
Yeah, well, now you know. Go get you some crab cakes, man. They're up there in Baltimore, man. I think they lost today, but Tez Walker's up there. Yeah, and the crab cakes. That's it, guys. We are stretching it thin. So until next time, my friends, you got anything else, Big Hawk?
Stay safe.
Stay safe.